So we're here at the Kansas Truck Center. Let's start it here. So far what I'm seeing is that, but that's pretty cool, but I think that's a little old. It's an old school classic, but yet it's got an auto shift. So if you thought these new 12 speeds were bad, that's worse. Yeah, let's keep looking. We've got a Western Star here. Let me take a look at that. I like them, but they're heavy trucks. They're very heavy trucks. This Western Star appears to have come out of Maine, according to what I'm seeing here. It's a 57E. It's nice, heavy, about 500,000 miles on it. This Coronado back here is nice, but I opened the door and it smelled like someone literally died in there and then crapped their pants all the way out. It assaulted me when I opened the door. So no, we're not. Probably a glider. I really don't want to go any further than that. You can tell this truck's just been shagged. One of the salesmen just walked by and said they got more on their website, like up in Omaha and Lincoln and all that. I'll be up through there later this week. These are all nice trucks. In fact, that white one is really nice, but they're all automated. Like I said, that Coronado smells like someone died in it. Western Star is pretty cool, but they're probably wanting more than it's worth for it, and I'd have to scale it out. They are very heavy trucks. But what a way to start. And there's your train. So, on to the next place. So now we've looked at a couple of trucks in Wichita, and I have no interest in the Western Star or the poop truck. I'm headed up north now. I'm gonna run up to Sioux Falls, talk to the dealer I've been dealing with up there, and I'm gonna head back south. I'm gonna hit Sioux Falls, Sioux City, Council Bluffs, and then work my way home from there. You gotta quit saying that. So now I'm on my way up to Sioux Falls now. I'll be there about 1 o'clock this afternoon. I'm just almost to the Nebraska line, and you should be there by about 1:30 this afternoon. I have to stop by the company first. I have some paperwork to do, and with canceling my plates and things of that nature, but I'll deal with that when I get up there. So, why am I going up here? Now, we all know that the internet is a wonderful deal. But I've come to realize that you use the internet, you get the information, and that'll give you a good baseline to a point, but the internet's only as honest as the person logging the stuff on to the internet. I mean, look at Tinder. So basically, if you take the same approach you would take with a dating app and apply that to truck sales, you're on your way. But also, I've come to realize that when you call on the phone and you talk to some of these salesmen, they're not interested. You're wasting their time. You're asking questions, this or that, and a lot of them just won't engage. And really, if you're going to act like I'm going to waste your time over the phone, I don't want to deal with you. Come to find out, the direct approach gets a whole lot more things done. So, if let's see if I can get this cruise to work. Bingo. Oh, come on. Oh, I got to turn it on. The direct approach is a whole lot better because they can't ignore you then. And then you get a read. Not only do you get a read on the truck you were looking at online, but you also get a read on the salesman. So this is kind of how you start putting things together. Now, trust me, Driving up here looking at trucks and all this as an owner-operator, this is a tax deduction. I can write all of this off, and I probably will. But that being said, it is better to do things face-to-face just because it eliminates a lot of crap, and you can really, what am I trying to say? You can weed out a lot of stuff. It takes more time, but in the long run, you're going to get a better product, and that's kind of what it's all about. Now, here's the neat thing about dealing with a group, a truck group that owns several dealerships. If they know you're going to be there and you have an interest in the truck and they say this truck is here, this truck's there, usually, like with the Midwest Peterbilt group, for instance, the trucks aren't too far apart, maybe an hour, and a lot of times they will just bring a truck over for you to look at. I'm going up through, I'm not sure how I'm going yet, but if I decided to go up through Norfolk, I could stop there, or I can, and then on the way back, I could stop at their place in Council Bluffs, and I think the one in Sioux City is owned by the same people. So you got 3 of them within an hour triangle. So that makes it easy. And truthfully, if I skip all of them and I find a truck I like online on my way home, if I don't see anything in the inventory in Council Bluffs, I can go over to Norfolk and see that. Now that's also the neat thing about talking to a dealer face to face. If there's a truck on the way, they're not going to bring it home. You know what? I'll swing by and take a look at it, because they do have access to the inventory list. Say, hey, we got one, but it's here. Be like, you know what? I'm going right past there on the way home. I'll check it out. And it's a great time saver. So if that's the case, you can really cut out a lot of crap. I have found that generally their general line, if you call them on the phone to ask about something, they're like, well, you know, check it out online and see what you think and call us back, click. So yeah, they seem to forget that I did check it out online, and that is why I'm calling you. I thought I made that clear in the first 14 seconds of the conversation, but apparently you weren't listening. That conversation's happened. All right, so let's get north and have an adventure. Depending on your perspective, this is either the first place to buy Kansas lottery tickets or the last place, because this is Nebraska. Remember stopping in Primm, Nevada one time over there at Whiskey Pete's and realized that California had a lottery store right there on the border. The store was in California, but the parking lot was in Nevada. It was like everybody had to cash in. It's kind of comical, but hey, it worked. So if you hook the radar detector up to the app, it does give you a lot of neat information. And I've been waiting on a trip to try it out because, well, I can't use it in the semi truck. I know people do, but those are big tickets, so I thought it'd be fun to take this out on a trip to see how it does. I didn't take the GPSs because, well, I know where I'm going. So we're about 160 miles out now. Just got done with my second fuel stop up in Schuyler, Nebraska. That Love's they built there. I'm kind of going through the woods because why not? So we're going to be here in a couple of hours, so I got to swing by, drop my paperwork off, and then we're going to head to Kenworth. So I'll catch you guys up in Sioux Falls. So we're down here at Kenworth in Sioux Falls, and we're looking at something neat. They've got a brand new, well, not brand new, it's a 2020 with 190,000 on it. $990. It's got the full owner op spec interior, the whole ordeal. It is a really nice truck. One thing I've noticed is it's got all the original tires on it, and they are worn evenly all the way across. That's a really good sign. So Check out this exhaust. It's got a nice burner in it. It has a dummy exhaust on the driver's side. That's kind of cheesy. Really don't know what to think about that, but it is what it is. It is a pretty truck. So, yeah, it's a contender. I've got the spec sheet. It's a 149, so it's right at the edge of affordability. I'd have to call the bank to find out what we could do, but it's a contender. So I got the spec sheet, so I'll go over that with you. So the spec sheet on this truck is pretty good. It's a 2020 Kenworth W990. It has a wheelbase of 273 inch. It's super black, 76 inch sleeper. It's a mid-roof and has an X15 and an 18 speed, along with a 342 rear end, spring ride suspension. It's got tall 22.5s. It's a good looking truck. It's 565 horsepower, 1,850 foot-pounds of torque, and it's pretty much lined up with everything that I'm looking for. So it's the next morning, and I just went ahead and just decided to call it last night. But I really did like that 990. But what that kind of gave me a sense for was what I was looking for. I didn't really like the nose. If anybody's ever driven a W9, they are rather imposing. And as imposing as a W9 is, this is worse because they made it wider and more bulkier. You almost look like you're looking over a hill. The hood's not flat. The hood needs to be curved this way. It does not need to be curved this way. So it's almost like you're looking over a hill like that. And that makes it a little ominous. It would take a lot of getting used to, don't get me wrong. But it is basically a 680 from the doors back. And what I saw in there was really nice. So I've been working on a baseline of what to look for, and that's it. You can get everything that 990 had in a 680. So we're gonna head down to Sioux City now this morning. I have to find gasoline. And then once we get down there, we're gonna hit the Kenworth and the Peterbilt before heading out. And apparently, we're back to this. So we're in Sioux City. Look at this white one right here. I'd get that drop riser replaced, but this one, and got that nice black one right there. So that one appears to be a 2022 maybe, and this is a 2020. So I'm gonna go see if I can get the spec sheets on these, and we'll go look at these. That looks like an old Decker truck. That thing's been rode harder than an OnlyFans girl. Speaking of rode hard, I was looking at these 579s the last time I was here, and these were just rough. They've cleaned them up, but they scared me for good. So the truck I was looking at in Sioux City was this Peterbilt. Sorry it's not in color, but the truck was white. It's 479,946 miles. Had an X15, 565, 1850 torque, 18-speed transmission, 325 rear ends. Now those are some tall gears. That's a West Coast truck right there. But you know, it was set up pretty nice. Let's see, what are the tires on this? Is that tires? It's got the stand-up sleeper, which is nice, like the mid-roof like I have. If I remember right, it had low pros on it. So it was a pretty good truck. The price was $149,950. The problem I had with that is I'm finding trucks with half the miles a year newer for the same price. So why wouldn't I do that? They were a little pricey on their trucks there in Sioux City, on their hoods. But this was definitely one in the running. But for the most part, I'm not sure about this one, but it wasn't bad. So I really did like that white 589. I've got a spec sheet on that, and another one that's in Council Bluffs. I might call on that one. I don't know if I'm going to check that one out today. I do want to get home tonight because I need to get to Oklahoma City in a day or two. But that 589, seeing that in person, it's basically it's got a 579 cab, but they've made it integrated and put a widened out 389 hood on it. It almost reminds me a lot of the 990. They kind of did the same treatment, and it looks, I would not be surprised if they're not on the same frame, or at least have the same front axle, because that 589 is wide. So let's sneak back here, and we're going to go to Kenworth and just cruise by the lot, see if there's anything catches my eye. Now, I believe this is the same group that owns the same Kenworth up in Sioux Falls, so I'm going to run in here real quick, see what they got, and if it's a bust, we'll be out of here in a minute. So, all right. So, as suspected, this is owned by the same company that owns the one up in Sioux Falls. But the good news is, you know, I made a contact. I got to know a guy. He's on the lookout. And basically, what we're looking for is what I said before. I want to find something like that 990, that whole package, but in a 680. And that's kind of where we're at right now. But even if I didn't buy a truck, I'm still making contacts. And you got to have face-to-faces with these guys when you really want to do something serious like this. So let me go get some coffee, and I think we're going to start heading south towards the house. So I do apologize for jumping around. As you see, I'm home now. I didn't really record anything on the way home once I left Sioux City. The Kenworth, like I said, went into, it was not, there was nothing there. So what did I learn? Well, I got a really good idea what I want. And I've got an idea what my price point are. What I'm noticing though, especially with these hoods, the prices are all over the board. Certain dealers are going to have better prices on than others. This, for just deal wise, if you're into these 990s, this was the best deal I came across. One of the lowest miles trucks, best price at $150. The thing that I didn't like was the white Peterbilt that I looked at there in Sioux City that I showed you a picture of and showed you the spec sheet on. It has over twice as many miles as that truck, and they want literally the same price. But through the same group, I could buy a 2020 379 extended hood for $129, and I looked at it. It has less miles. The color, it's yellow. It was apparently was a Mayfield dairy truck, but it's 450 X15 and 1,650 foot-pounds of torque. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but the way these trucks are being set up these days, that for what I do, that is plenty. But the prices on these have been all over the board, and I'm sitting here looking at these. This is as a 336, the dairy truck, versus the 325. So I just they're virtually the same truck, yet there's a few differences here and there. So that would be something you need to look into. The extended hood versus the 389. I'm sitting here looking at both of them, and they're really, I can't really tell the difference between the extended hood and this. And this was an extended hood also, even though it says it isn't. But so it all comes down to what you want, what you're willing to spend. So why little trip? You got to have face-to-face. You have to start making connections, making contacts. Get these guys working for you. You'll know. So the trip back was completely uneventful. I was completely shot. I left at 4:30 Monday morning, and was back by 5:30 the next afternoon. I mean, straight up there. Got there about 1:30. Did my paperwork. Concluded my lease paperwork and all that with the company I'm leased onto, that way they can strike the truck off the roster. And then went up and talked to them about the 990, and looked at some other stuff that really didn't trip my trigger. So that's kind of where we're going to end this video. It was productive. I got a really good idea of what I want, especially with the Kenworth versus the Peterbilt. I have a Peterbilt for years. I've driven Peterbilts for years. Kenworths, though, are good trucks. I know what I want. Well, I know what I would like. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to keep looking, and I've already been looking, and that's going to be in the next video. I mean, we've been hitting it hard. So if you're out there looking for a truck, you know, try to really do your shopping. You're not always going to get everything you want, but look for the basics, and you're not going to be disappointed, because that's where it's at. You can always change the radio out. You can always add things to the truck. But engine, running gear, that whole ordeal, is this truck going to do what you need it to do? And if it is, more power to you. And that's kind of what we're looking at now. So I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for a truck, don't settle, man. You can make compromises as long as you're okay with it, but don't settle for what's there. If you got to finance a little bit, you got to spend a little extra money, that's all right. Because these things are going to last you longer, and you're going to get what you need out of it. Don't get stuck with the truck you hate for the next 4 years. That's my little tidbit there. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next video.